Which edition of The Abyss is better, the special edition or the theatrical edition? I really don't know. You're going to have to tell me. Chase Leaki here with the Blue Futon reviewing The Abyss Special Edition 4K restoration. I think a one night only. Anyway, what's this about? Submarine. Beep, beep, bam! Hits an invisible wall out of freaking nowhere. And now, these, I won't call them oil drillers, but they call themselves oil something. They're on a big rig, as well as some Navy SEALs need to go down and see if anyone survived. But do the Navy SEALs have a special mission? What is down there? What's the purple lights? What is going to happen to the crew? And who's dying? Is it what's happening with the waves? Aliens? What's going on here? Anyway, did I like this film? Okay, like I said in the first reaction, I have to think this one. I have to think this one through. I really do. Because like I said, I have not seen the original one, which the special edition is 28 minutes longer. I have no idea where the length is. I'm going to guess more talking scenes, and there's got to be stuff at the very end. Because the very end, overall, in my opinion, kind of ruins the film. Okay, hear me out. The first hour and a half of the movie, I was intrigued. I'm like, this is kind of a horror-esque movie. I see where James Cameron, like, really got his craft of loving water. Avatar: Way of the Water, Titanic. I see it. You see the Abyss, you go, yep, he is the one director needed for Titanic, period, dot, end of subject. But okay, cool. Ed Harris, and apparently none of the crew likes this movie because they had an abysmal time with it. They said half of them almost drowned. The set was miserable, etc., etc. But the craft, the look of the movie in 4K is freaking amazing. It looks fantastic. The water effects, the actual being the submarine-esque style of thing is awesome. Yes, you could tell like the big waves and the big alien things are a little cheesy. But of course, this movie came out in 1989. So I really can't fault the movie for doing that. But I do think the acting is good. I do think the overall craft of this movie is good. Like I said, the problem with this movie is it felt a little pretentious for the overall story and message it wanted to say. Yes, James Cameron does it now, very environmentalist, doing, the avatars and movies like that. Sure, no issues with that whatsoever. But I would say the biggest issue with this movie is the ending of what it was trying to do. Yes, I understand it was trying to say, like, yo, these aliens are like, hey, world, why do you want to be so mean to each other? True. Absolute aliens, you're 100% right. Why are we so mean to each other? Here's the thing, aliens. It's never going to go away. God tried it with Noah's Ark. Like, let's bring two animals. Even on Noah's Ark, there's probably fights. Even after Noah's Ark, though, people want to kill each other. People want to fight. We have all these religions want to fight each other. All these different races want to fight each other. Even people in the same races want to fight each other. People just want to murder people. People are mentally insane. It's like, what do we do to stop that? There's not a lot can be done to stop that. So, but these aliens are like, you know what? I'm about to be God right now. I'm about to do a Noah's Ark. I'm about to FS up. And then all of a sudden, Ed Harris is like, no, but why? Why do you want to do that? Yeah, there's some probably good people and some bad people. And then there is some anti-military messages in this movie, especially one guy's like, well, I guess you're out of a job to a Navy, 1-star, which is like, how do you know, like, is it going to be like Mars attacks where these people randomly know these aliens are good, like, out of nowhere and just stuff like that? And of course, all the Navy SEALs, well, most of the Navy SEALs in this movie just feel like they're like very forced, heavy-handed, a lot of heavy-handed characters. That's all I'll say right there. But the ending, okay. I understand the anti-war message. I truly do. And I commend what you're trying to do. But it doesn't work for this film, okay? The Abyss, when I see it, it could have been like, remember that Kristen Stewart movie that's actually really good called Underwater? I think T.J. Miller was also in it. That was a pretty solid, monster-esque movie. This could have been the same way, like, but instead of that, aliens. And yes, I know this is a 1989. I don't think the right character designs were correct for the aliens. Some of them were cool, but when you first meet them, you're like, what is this? Because I understand this weird alien body that is kind of like a stingray. I kind of agree with that. But then it turns to a weird like Atlantis thing. It also turns to this weird like they have their own little spaceships that are clear. Sure, why not? And also some subplots that are just kind of weird because what I mean by that, okay, I understand you want to go to the sub, what's going on. But I was a little bit confused what was happening in the world because like, you have the Soviets, you have America, and you have Cuba, and they're just battling out of nowhere. Like it was like a weird thing where it's like, oh, the submarine goes down, which no one really needed to know about. Let's be honest. If an American sub went down and no one knows where the sub is at, why is that information getting out? What I'm trying to get at is all of a sudden this TV crew is like, the Soviets are here, the Cubans are here, the Americans are here, and they're all in this area. It's like, I'm pretty sure that just seems a little bit far-fetched to me. Also, then it just kept going more far-fetched about these Navy SEALs doing this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 thing, which you really don't understand what it is. Yeah, you do see some, oh, the guy get this key, they're getting a warhead, but you don't understand what they're going to do with the warhead. It could no joke to them just being like, yo, we're just going to make sure the submarine disappears. What we're supposed to try to do in Afghanistan is just make sure this stuff is inoperable. Because when you have the keys, just, take the cores out, end of story. But then it just goes to a weird thing where this one Navy SEAL is just kind of apeshit crazy, and he's trying to put this random nuclear warhead down in this cavern or the abyss. But when he does it, no one really knows what's down there. Who knows if the aliens are down there? It's just weird plot holes like that where you're just like I said, this is a movie where James Cameron knew what he wanted to do at the end. And he knew what he wanted to kind of make this interesting-esque, sci-fi-esque, horror-esque element to it with fantastic camera angles, fantastic CGI, interesting scenarios. Like the whole thing sliding down in the crevasse, if you want to put it that way, freaking awesome. I mean, top-notch shit right there. But my God, I understand the anti-war image, but it was almost like a slap in the face, kind of like the Babylon ending where you're just like, I understand what you're going for. I truly do. And having that awesome thing where it's like you swallow something and you could breathe underwater, shit like that is freaking cool. They could have gone that crazy route, but it felt conventional. It felt, heavy-handed, and it felt pretentious at the end of the day. But I do think Abyss is a good movie, not James Cameron's best. Maybe not his worst either. I'll have to relook at all his other films. But overall, it was a solid movie experience for my first time watching it in 4K in 3D. Not in 3D, sorry, in theaters. And I think James Cameron is the only one that could get away with nudity for PG-13. This had nudity. Titanic had nudity. How does he do it? So The Abyss Special Edition 4K will receive a 3 out of 5 with Futons, which equals at 60%. But see the critics' news scores gave this one. So you have critics at 88% with 51 of them, audience score at 83% with over 100,000. Critic consensus. The utterly gorgeous special effects frequently overshadow the fact that Abyss is a totally gripping, claustrophobic thriller, complete with an interesting crew of characters. Sure, but I don't know. Let me see the negative. Like I said, to me, it was the freaking ending really didn't. Some people might love that twist, and the M. Night Shyamalan twist, but this twist just didn't work for me. Nothing really about the ending, but to me, it was the ending where I was just like, okay, this is kind of going really, 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 really left field. I appreciate the ambition. It just didn't work for this guy. 88, 83, 60. Chase out here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of these Butontopia. Your Buton's having a great day. I can watch this tape tomorrow, week, from a month, from a year, for every single freaking one of you. And am I wrong giving it 60%? I feel like there might be a lot of people that are like, how dare you? But to me, it was fine. But I loved, man, it's one of the things, like, I really loved the film until the last 15, 20 minutes. I was like, eh.